You know how sometimes history doesn't just walk, it sprints? Well, for the story of artificial intelligence, March 2026 was a full-on Olympic dash. We're going to break down that one single month where it felt like the entire future of AI arrived all at once, completely changing the game. For the longest time, we were just talking to AI, right? It was a chatbot, a cool tool for writing an email or making a picture. But then came March 2026. And that's when AI stopped just talking and started, well, doing. It was this massive shift from a passive assistant to an active agent that could actually get things done in the real world. So, what's the magic ingredient here? It's a concept called agentic AI. And honestly, the best way to think about it is like this. Old AI was a calculator. You give it a problem, it gives you an answer. Agentic AI, that's the whole accountant. It gets the goal, finds the info, uses the tools, and just runs the entire workflow for you. This one idea right here is what unlocked everything we're about to talk about. All right, so let's dive into our first big theme, a new kind of AI. Or, as I like to call it, the moment the digital collaborator finally got a real job. Kicking things off, OpenAI drops a bombshell, GPT 5.4. And look, this wasn't just another small update. No. This thing was completely re-engineered from the ground up, for one primary reason: to interact directly with your software, your spreadsheets, your code editors, your documents, basically to work. And to prove it wasn't just talk, they put it to the test on this benchmark called OS World V. Think of it as a brutal decathlon for office productivity tasks on a computer. And the score it got? A mind-blowing 75%. Okay, so 75%. That sounds good, right? But here's why it is an absolutely monumental deal. The average human score on this very same test is 72.4%. So, for the first time ever, an AI didn't just get close, it officially beat the human baseline. Let that sink in for a second. We're talking about an AI that's demonstrably better than the average person at just using a computer to do work. So how did it get so good? Well, it had some serious upgrades under the hood. We're talking a massive 1 million token context window. That's like it being able to read and remember a whole novel in one shot. It was also way more accurate, making a third fewer mistakes or hallucinations. And here's the kicker for businesses. It was 50% cheaper for coding tasks. That's a game changer. But hold on, the month was just getting started. Just when everyone was trying to wrap their heads around GPT 5.4, Anthropic, their biggest rival, comes out with Claude 4.6. And they took this whole agent idea and just cranked it to 11. And here's the really wild part. If GPT 5.4 was like an AI that learned to use your apps, Claude 4.6 was an AI that can take over your whole computer for you. Seriously, you could just give it a high-level goal, and it would autonomously open your spreadsheets, write your emails, manage your files, all while you're controlling it from your phone. The AI wasn't your collaborator anymore. It was your project manager. Okay, so AI taking over office work is one thing, but the story of March 2026 gets even bigger, even more profound. This brings us to our next chapter. AI discovers new science. Yep, the AI is officially putting on a lab coat. And this is a crucial distinction. This is about way more than just being efficient. It's about pure, raw discovery. We went from an AI that was basically a superpowered calculator, solving problems we already knew how to solve, to an AI that was acting like a mathematician, exploring the complete unknown. The best example? Google DeepMind's Alethea agent. They basically unleashed it on a list of 10 math problems that human mathematicians had been stuck on for years. Alethea, all on its own, solved 6 of them. We're not talking about homework problems here. This was brand new, publishable research. And if you need any more proof, listen to this. Donald Knuth, this guy is an absolute living legend in computer science, was stuck on a super complex problem for weeks. He decided to give it to Claude, and it solved it. His reaction was literally shock. When you can leave a genius like that completely speechless, you know something fundamental has shifted. So the big question is, how did all this happen so fast? Well, it wasn't just about clever code. You need some serious muscle to power this kind of intelligence. Which brings us to the engine room of the revolution. And that's where this idea of the AI factory really took hold. And don't just picture a regular data center. No, these are massive, purpose-built supercomputers designed from the ground up specifically for the insane demands of these new agentic AIs. At the forefront of this was NVIDIA with its Vera Rubin platform. And the key thing to get here is that it wasn't just a single new, faster chip, it was a whole new system. Think CPUs, GPUs, and brand new accelerators, all designed to work together in perfect harmony, like a symphony orchestra. It just got rid of all the old bottlenecks. So, what does that actually mean for the real world? Well, for one, it led to a 10 times reduction in the cost of generating a single AI token. That's the fundamental unit of AI thought, if you will. Suddenly, running these incredibly powerful models became 10 times cheaper. That's huge. And it wasn't just about cost, it was about efficiency. We're talking a 35 times increase in performance per megawatt. In other words, you get way more bang for your energy buck. And that's absolutely crucial if you're planning to build these things all over the world. But it's not all about bigger, badder factories. At the same time, another fascinating idea was getting a ton of attention. A company called AMI Labs raised over $1 billion to build something called world models. The idea here is totally different. Instead of just feeding an AI endless text and images, you teach it by having it simulate the actual physical world. It's a completely different path to intelligence. So you've got these new super capable agents, AI discovering science, and the hardware to power it all. There was just one piece of the puzzle left, and it fell right into place in March 2026. This is where we see a new world order, where the entire industry just shakes up. And honestly, nothing shows this better than OpenAI's wild, high-stakes pivot. Remember Sora, the AI video generator that was absolutely everywhere? Well, they killed it. Canceled it. They walked away from huge deals just to pour all that computing power into a new project, codenamed Spud, which was all in on agentic AI. It was a massive bet the company kind of gamble. And how do you back a bet that big? With an almost unimaginable amount of cash. We're talking a $110 billion funding round. That's not a typo. The money wasn't just flowing, it was a tidal wave, and it was all flowing in one direction. So yeah, March 2026, you had the agents that could do, the science that could discover, the hardware that could power it, and the capital that could fund it. It wasn't just one breakthrough, it was a convergence, a perfect storm that gave birth to a whole new paradigm. Which leaves us with one pretty heavy question, right? What happens next? What happens when these super smart agents start using these scientific discovery AIs, all running on supercomputers that get more powerful every single year? March 2026 didn't just give us new tools. It might have kicked off a chain reaction that we're only just beginning to understand.